Good afternoon, class. Today we're going to be talking about life cycles again of animals, and I'm going to give you a hint. I want you guys to close your eyes and raise your hand when you know what animal we're talking about today. All right, on the count of three, I want you guys to tell me, who are we talking about today? 1, 2, 3. Frogs. We're going to be talking about frogs today. All right. First thing we're going to do before we talk about their life cycle is I want to do a KWL chart. Remember what KWL charts are? What we know, what we want to know, and what we learned. So first, let's talk about what we know. So we're not just talking about frogs. I want you guys to think about what you know about frogs' lives and their life cycle. So we're going to write frog life cycle. All right, so for the frog life cycle, what do we know? Raise your hand if you'd like to share what you know. They start out as a fish. Okay. They are a fish. What else do we know about them? In water. Okay. What else do you know about the life cycle of a frog? They do not always hop. Okay. Those are some great ideas of things that we know about frogs. Now let's think about what we want to know. What do you want to know about the life of a frog? Ooh, that's a good one. How many phases? Remember we talked about butterflies and they had how many phases? 4 phases, that's right. So how many phases does a frog's life cycle have? That's a really good thing to find out. What else do you want to know about frogs? Okay. Are they always green? Butterflies changed colors, right? So maybe frogs change colors too. Let's do a question mark there. These are great questions. Any other ones? Ooh. Do they make different sounds? That's something that maybe we will find out, or we're going to have to search for the answer. All right, this is a pretty good start to our KWL chart. So now we're going to move on to our L, but first we got to do some activities to find out and learn some stuff. All right, so next we are going to watch a video of the life cycle of a frog. Now this life cycle is going to be super fast. It takes a while for a frog to change in their life cycle, just like it took a while for the butterfly to change. So what's going to happen is we are going to watch this and you are going to pay attention to the changes that you see. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this up. And you guys watch. I want you to pay close attention to what you guys see. Wasn't sure how else to put this up on the video, so. I'm so sorry. This is the video that we were supposed to watch. Okay, so pay attention to what you see change about the frog in this video. What do you notice? It's going to come again. It goes kind of fast. I want you to pay close attention. I want you to think about the different phases you might see. Okay. Now we're going to watch it again, but I want you to think about, just in your head, what kinds of things did you see? Did you see something change at the beginning, at the end? What looked different from the start of the video to the end of the video? You guys, I want you guys to think of what those changes might have been and what those phases might be. So you guys are going to explore that video together with a group, and you guys are going to write out the life cycle of a frog based on what you observe. So you guys, there's going to be one thing. I'm going to give you the first phase, okay? The first phase is egg. Just like the butterflies, there are eggs. I'm going to give you the first one. Our video did not show this, and I want you to know that that's what it is. So we're all going to have the first starting one the same as each other, okay? It's all going to say egg, and it's going to have a picture of eggs. You can draw them however you want, but you're going to have that at your first one. So you guys are going to decide from the egg what happened for the frog to change. So you need to think of what pictures you want to draw. You need to think about a word or a title for that phase, and you need to fill it on your worksheet. So work as a group. You guys have to work together. So you guys should have the same thing collaboratively. You're going to work together to write down the life cycle of a frog, okay? Okay, so now that they've all worked, now I want you guys to share what you have come up with. This is when I'd let the kids share the phases that they decided to make with their group. Maybe they're going to have something like this. It might say fish, legs and fish. It might say legs, and then it might say frog. So they're going to work through and come up with their own ideas based on what they observed in the video. Now that we've all had our own ideas to share with each other, we're going to go ahead and fill out our L on our thing, and we're going to use what Mrs. H teaches you right now about those phases. So like everyone, we talked about eggs were the first phase. So everyone had eggs. Raise your hand if you had eggs on your first phase box. Exactly. The next one, this is the word for this phase. It's a tadpole. Some people had fish. Some people had different words to describe it, but it's called a tadpole. Can everyone say tadpole with me? That's the first phase. When it comes out of the egg, it has a long tail. The next phase, when you saw the change in the video, there were 2 legs on that tadpole. So we call it a tadpole with legs. Okay? And then next, when the frog changed, it changed into a froglet. Can you guys say froglet? Froglet. That means that it kind of looks like a frog, but it still is an interesting shape because it's changing from that tadpole shape into the adult frog. So it just looks a little bit different. Plus it has a little bit of a tail too. As I'm explaining these to the children, I'm also going to be passing out a physical figurine for each. This is just a copy of it, but they're actually little animals and little dolls that they can pass around, and they can touch them as I'm explaining to them the different phases of the frog's life. So the final phase is the adult frog. Now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phases in the frog's life. And you guys are going to practice these phases with me after we add it to our chart. So, let's put it on our chart. What was the first phase? Egg. What was our second phase? Tadpole. Number 3. With legs, yep. Tadpole with legs. What does it change into next? A froglet. And what is the final phase of the frog in his life? A frog, an adult frog. We say adult frog because technically it was always a frog, but it just changed into an adult frog all the way back from the egg. So I want you guys to say it with me together. We have egg, tadpole, tadpole with legs, froglet, and adult frog. Very good job. Now, to practice all those new phrases that we learned about the cycle of a frog, I am going to take all of those pictures that I showed you of the different phases, and I'm going to put them all around the classroom. I'm going to tape them on the walls and everywhere. Or maybe we'll go outside and we'll do this outside. I want you guys to hop like a frog, an adult frog, to the phase that I'm either describing or maybe I am that I'm describing. So first, if I were to say, this is the first phase of a frog's life, what would you hop to? The egg. That's right. Eggs are the first phase. So now, if Mrs. H has you guys all hop to there, you guys are going to hop to the egg. And then when we're all there, I'm going to give you another description. I might say, in this phase, a frog has 2 legs and a tail. What phase would you hop to? Tadpole with legs. That's right. So I'm going to describe the different phases, and I want you guys to hop like frogs to get a little exercise and some practice. You ready? Okay, that was fun. So now, just to check on all the stuff that we learned today, I want you guys to fill out a worksheet called Frog Foursquare. On this worksheet, there are 4 things for you to do. The first square says, draw the life cycle of a frog. Where do you think you could look to find out how to draw this on your worksheet? Where could you look? Oh, maybe you can look at the worksheet. You had some pretty good drawings on there with your group. But what about those words that we learned about the different phases? That's right. We can look at our KWL chart because Mrs. H has all of those special vocabulary words to describe the phase of the frog. Next, it says, write 3 facts you learned about a frog today. Okay, write 3 things. How many? 3 things. Next, it says, write 3 adjectives that describe frogs. Adjectives. That's a pretty big word. What does that mean? That's right. Those are special words that describe something. So what are some words that describe a frog that you learned today? So you write those here. How many? 3. The last square here says write one question you still have about frogs. After you guys have completed this whole worksheet, I want you to sit at your table groups, and once you're all done, you can color this frog and wait for your friends. But once everyone's done, you guys are going to share your one question that you have about frogs with each other, okay? Maybe you guys can answer them for each other. Maybe you can't. Maybe we'll have to figure out those answers together. So that's how we're going to end our lesson today. You guys get to work. And you can also use color when you're coloring your life cycle of a frog as well. Now, I just want to elaborate for you guys, during the explanation of all of the different phases of the frog's life, I'm also going to have the video playing of that frog. That's the metamorphosis of that frog, so that we're going to pause it at each part to show the students those changes from one part of the video to the next. Also, I obviously didn't purchase a bunch of stuff for this video, but these are, like I said before, they're figurines, so like the students can touch them and feel them and just, kind of observe them, because it's not really easy to get those eggs for the students to look at. So, and this is part of a unit, so the students are beginning with butterflies, and then they move on to the frog life cycle, and then we're actually, in the next lesson, we're going to be comparing and contrasting the 2 life cycles. So, thank you.